This average high school history teacher ended up becoming history for being such a legendary war hero through pure insanity. Charles Carpenter was just a regular high school history teacher when the Second World War broke out, and that's when he discovered that he had this unquenchable thirst for blowing up German tanks. The problem is, when Carpenter was given his wings, he was given this plane to fly, an L-4 Grasshopper. The civilian version is known as a Piper Cub, and it's just used for artillery spotting, which means it has no guns on it, which according to Carpenter, absolutely would not do. He needed to kill tanks. At the beginning of the war, the U.S. was using M1A1 bazookas, which are shoulder-mounted rocket launchers, to blow up German tanks. The problem is, as the war progressed, the Germans had thicker armor on the front, so those bazookas ended up being useless. The only way they could blow up these tanks is from above, because most tanks aren't armored from the top, because they weren't prepared for Carpenter, who requisitioned 6 of these bazookas and strapped them to the side of his plane. So this maniac, after strapping 6 of these bazookas to his wings, hooks it up so that he can fire it from inside the cockpit and goes to work. In October of 1944 alone, Carpenter ended up blowing up 5 German tanks and 1 armored car with his jury-rigged, default, unarmed scout plane. Plus, this plane was not fast. In fact, it was notoriously slow, so much so that he pretty much had to casually saunter up to German tanks to blow them up. Eventually, they started shooting at Cubs a whole lot more, so much so that Carpenter was quoted of saying, "The bazookas must be bothering them a bit." Oh, you think? Unfortunately, towards the end of the war, in 1945, Carpenter ended up getting diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, also known as lymphoma, and he was told that he had less than 2 years to live. Which is why he went home and continued to live for another 21 years, because no one tells Charles Carpenter how to live his life or fight his wars.